Live from WSA, this is Expense Account. We have a special guest today, Pete Wells, somebody that I really look up to, one of my favorite writers. He was the New York Times food critic from 2012 to 2024. And in that time, so much has changed. We talked about how restaurants have changed food and media at large. We also talked a lot about matcha and Xi'an famous foods. This was a really fun episode for me because it's just so special to talk to somebody that's just incredibly passionate and knowledgeable about food. I really hope you guys enjoy. Cheers. Hi, Pete. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Thanks so much for coming. This is amazing. This is a dream come true. Honestly, you were one of the people
I haven't even done anything yet.
I know, but you were one of the people that I, like, when we were starting the podcast, that I really wanted to have on, but I was nervous to ask you. But I'm so glad that you accepted my invitation.
It's great. I'm happy to talk about whatever.
Whatever.
Actually excited that I have no idea what you're going to ask me.
I guess let's get into it. How is it being a civilian?
Oh, well, it's great. Like, kind of great personally. Like, I like much more calm and relaxed and like focused and like kind of like I was always I don't know, I think I was always like either getting ready to eat or eating or like digesting or being hungover and then getting ready to eat again. And now it's like there are like large parts of the day when I don't really think about food that much.
Wow.
You know, I know it's weird. It's really weird.
I mean, I guess I'm dealing with that. Like, yeah, I feel like my entire, like, all of my schedule is always not like at the same level as that, but just that also for my enjoyment. But
well, I mean, are you able to enjoy restaurants? Because
I love
you get
them.
to a point where like it's like, am I working? Am I not working?
I mean, I don't have to eat out as much as you did. I eat out when I want to eat out. I only write, like, I don't write as much as you, and I get to pick and choose what I write about for the most part. And yeah, so when I go out, it's like, it's fun, and it's like, sometimes like I get to expense it, and then like I get to, I eat at home a lot too, and I feel like it's very grounding for me to cook. Have you been cooking more since?
Yeah, almost entirely. Like, that's about all I do. Like, I rarely go out. I've gone out a little bit, you know, because it's like December and you want to see people and you end up in a restaurant. And, no, mostly I stay at home.
Wow. What have you been cooking?
Well, I made a ham for Christmas. And then I've just been eating it every day since, like basically every meal since.
I'm
just
so
like
jealous.
A little bit of the ham comes off to go into soup, or a little bit, you know, like a bigger piece comes off to like be like dinner. And I don't really eat like a lot of meat. I'm going to say red meat, but it's like ham. It's like pink, right? But like I just rarely find myself in a situation where I have like a pound or two of cooked meat in the refrigerator. So I'm loving it. Right? I'm just like, this is so great. Like, you should always have a big chunk of meat in tinfoil.
We didn't do family Christmas this year, so we didn't get to have the ham. But usually we go to Australia, where my wife is from, and they do a big ham. And they also do crayfish, which are like, they're like they're not like little crayfish like in America. They're basically lobsters without claws.
Oh yeah.
So like they dive and they get them for free.
No.
So we have millions of like all you can eat crayfish, and we steam them and then we eat them all week. Sometimes we make a ham and crayfish sandwich at the same time. Oh. It's really quite the treat, and I'm so sad that we didn't get to do that this year. But next year, I was talking to Cherry, and he was saying that you visited Asheville pretty soon after you stopped being a critic, and that it was like so fun for you because you got to hang out with people and get to know like the people at the restaurants.
Well, it was great. It really was like kind of the first time when I did like a story about restaurants where I wasn't like going to just be writing a critique or review, you know, where it's a completely different thing. Where if it's going to be a review, I try not to talk to people. So they usually would know I was there, but I would just try to keep the veil And this was like, so just total immersion because, the people in Asheville had gone through the storm and being closed for like a really long time, a lot longer than they thought, and having like just huge issues about like their water, like the water supply was a major thing. And then like the town just emptied out, like all the tourists were told to stay away, and they did.
So you were there when it was empty?
I was there when it was pretty empty. It was like last January. Quiet time of year anyway, in this case, like the tourism business had just been flushed away and hadn't been rebuilt yet. And so I was talking to people like Cherry and some other chefs and about like what they've been through, and they've been through a lot, right? So it's like for me this like sudden immersion in like the emotional lives of people I didn't really get to talk to very much for a long time, you know, and getting to talk to them about like what it's like for them, right? Running the restaurant, having to close the restaurant, trying to reopen a restaurant, worrying about if people are going to come to the restaurant, and like, in many cases, it's like it's their livelihood, it's their life, it's often their life savings, everything they own in the world is in that restaurant. So it's intense, and like that's a side of the business that like was kind of closed off to me for a long time. I just didn't have those conversations.
The Expense Account podcast is built in partnership with Substack. I've been spending a lot more time on the Substack app. It's become my favorite escape to scroll productively, and it's also where I've built my business. Substack is where I read Link in Bio by Rachel Carton to learn what brands are actually doing right on social media, and where writers like Jaleel Johnson are reinventing real-time fashion reporting. A few weeks ago, I went live with Derek Thompson, and it felt like thousands of us were hanging out and talking about the state of parties. Everything for Feed Me lives there too. My daily newsletter, chats about New York City, live videos with pop stars like Audrey Hobart, and of course, there's always debates in the comment section. In fact, while I'm here reading this ad to all of you, my readers are talking to each other about where guys on Wall Street have been taking their lunch meetings. Go to substack.com/Emily to get a free month of Feed Me in the Substack app.
This episode of Expense Account is brought to you by Silver Oak, the bottle that quietly says, "This dinner matters." In a world full of big swings and loud flexes, a little subtlety is chic. You order Silver Oak, and suddenly the whole table understands the tone of the evening. It's the kind of bottle that shifts the energy the moment it's poured. Whenever I want to make an impression without overthinking it, I don't even ask for the wine list. I just ask for a bottle of Silver Oak. Done. Silver Oak, the official wine of Expense Account. You took the anonymity thing very seriously, and so you kept your life very separate. How as someone that is like a food lover, it seems so hard to me to keep your life separate from people who work at restaurants. Like, were you friends with people that worked at restaurants while you were?
I don't have any friends, so that's really easy.
Me.
Oh, okay. Thank you for being my friend. I did not have friends in the business, and I didn't really find it that difficult. I would sometimes have to say no to like going to a party where I knew like a bunch of chefs would be.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't that hard. And like there are chefs I was friendly with, but in media, if you're writing about food, well, a lot of chefs who want to kind of be your friend.
Yeah.
But I think, it's important to keep some perspective on like what the reality of that relationship is. Sometimes you do become real friends with these people, but a lot of times there's just an element of like, hey, this is good for you, it's good for me. But if you could hang out with anybody in the world on a Friday night, I'm not sure that would be the person.
I mean, they share your passion for food. There's only so many people surely in the world that like share something that intensely with you.
Oh yeah, well, I love that. I mean, I love that, and one of the reasons I really like food people, not just chefs, but like people who make stuff, people
Yeah.
who make products, winemakers and ham makers, all of this, like, is like they love to talk about the thing that they make. They're in it. The good ones are in it because they're like a little demented and they're obsessed with this thing.
Yeah.
And those are great conversations with people who are just like so passionate about the thing they do, the thing they make, the food that they put out there. I love having those conversations, you know.
Yeah. I mean, just Cherry was telling me you guys were having the best time in Asheville.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Did you get to eat at Ning's?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I talk about it all the time, but
It's an amazing.
it's
an amazing
really a
place.
special place.
Like, everything's thought through. Everything's done on purpose, and yet it's not like off-putting at all.
Yeah, they really
and it's
walk
not
that line.
right. And it's really hard. Really hard to get that right. And I think especially rare to find it. Like it's the only place that I know of in that city that's kind of doing that style of service and that style of cuisine, right?
Yeah.
And like when I went in there, I was just like, well, wow, this is like something really special that these people created just because they wanted it to exist. You know?
Do you get to travel much? Because I feel like I have a hard time having so much perspective about the American restaurant scene outside of New York. I mean, I go to Chicago because I'm from Chicago, but I wonder, I mean, a place like Ning's feels very special to me, but I wonder how many places like these are like happening everywhere. I mean, Ning's is very special, so.
Yeah, I mean, there are probably like fewer than 5 people in the country who could have this conversation with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't
know who
I
it
don't know
is.
if I'm one of them. you
Yeah,
know, 'cause,
maybe like Tejal or-
Yeah, right. She travels a lot. I is supposed to travel, but you know, the pull of the New York restaurants is going to be
There's
really
already
strong.
there's too many. I mean,
There's too many.
Yeah.
There's too many to keep up with. There's too many to even sift through them all and decide like, well, this is interesting. This might be interesting later. This is not interesting at all.
Yeah.
People are talking about this, but it's bullshit. You know, like we're not like that's like just sifting through all that stuff. It can take you forever, and you never get on the road. That's sort of like where I was for most of the time that I was reviewing. Like I was interested in what was happening outside the city, but like I just couldn't get away. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, look at all these restaurants. I have to.
it was just you at the time too.
Right. Like
Crazy.
If I don't go, no one's gonna go.
Have you been to Barker?
No.
Oh,
No, I know. I walk by it like
it's very cute. I
every
like
day.
it.
Yeah, one of these days I will.
It's a nice place for lunch.
It's like in the beginning, the first week, 2 weeks, there was crazy lines.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, no, well,
Yeah.
obviously not going to go there. But now it's getting a little reasonable. Yeah, what do you like to eat there?
The sandwiches are great. They do them on a focaccia that it's funny because I feel like it doesn't look like so like Instagrammy focaccia. Like you always want focaccia to be like in the photos it's like big and billowy, but I don't think that makes the best thing for a sandwich most of the time. They do like a thinner, darker focaccia. It kind of looks a little uglier, honestly,
Yes.
but it's more structurally sound for a sandwich. They do a roast beef sandwich that's very good on it.
Yeah.
The
I'm
pastries are good.
very like sensitive to the overly tall sandwich, you know?
yeah.
Like I shouldn't have to like twist it at an angle to like get it in my mouth.
Yeah,
like,
the
like,
form, the form and the function of the sandwich. That's a sandwich is the function or the form.
Yes.
It's both together. You're supposed to be able to hold it in one hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And get it in your mouth. I mean, that's important. That's very important that you be able to like bite it.
I'm always like, do people have bigger mouths than me?
Some people do maybe, but like, you know, I don't think you're not making these things for
What's the sandwich you really like?
a sandwich I really, really like. Well, I was just talking about the, speaking of focaccia,
Everyone's talking about
the
sandwiches.
collard green sandwich at Superiority Burger, right?
It's amazing. I mean, that's barely. It's
sort
kind
of
of almost
incredible.
not a sandwich. I mean, it's
Well,
hard to
it-
eat. It's
it-
hard to pick up and eat.
It doesn't hold together necessarily.
Yeah, but it's amazing.
Sort of okay with that. I mean, you can eat it half as
like
a
a
sandwich,
horseshoe
and
or
then you have
something.
all these leavings that you have to,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like the most recent really good sandwich I've had.
It's amazing. It's so good. Do you miss being a critic at all?
No.
Like you don't go to like a restaurant and you're like, you never like feeling like the tinge of inspiration or something. when you go to a restaurant, you're like, I just want to get home. Sometimes I eat at a restaurant and I'm like so excited to just like, I pounded it out on my phone while I was eating, you know, like just, I don't know, just so excited to write about it.
I would feel that way about like places that nobody had done.
Yeah.
Those are the ones where like there's certain restaurants in New York City that everybody who writes about food is going to weigh in on.
Yeah.
Usually like in the first month, you know. And some of them are interesting, and I would look forward to writing about the interesting ones. But like, there's really nothing like finding a place that hasn't been written about that much yet, and thinking like, oh, this is really good. People need to know about this. You know?
Yeah.
That was really exciting. Now I would not sit and right there while I was eating, but like, you know,
Not just notes.
those are the ones that sort of kept me going. You know?
Your last review was
the Yemeni place.
Yemenat.
Yemenat, right?
So good,
isn't it?
That's
right?
amazing, and that's so cool that was like your song.
And that was just like, you know, I went out there, I checked it out. I had, you know, a couple people who were just somehow just driving across Brooklyn on their way to Washington, met me there. By the end of the meal, I was like, this is actually something. You know?
The bread is like some of the best bread I've ever had.
Yeah, right. And I mean, I'm not going to say nobody else wrote about it, but it was not getting like, you know, it was not getting over covered. You know, it was not like saturation level coverage, which is like, you know.
Now do they have a Michelin star or Bib Gourmand at least?
I think a Bib, yeah. Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it deserves it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And those are the places, because very often when you're in a place that's that good and it hasn't been reviewed, there's a reason for that. Like, they're outside of the network. They're outside of the system. They don't work in the industry. They don't have friends who, they don't have friends who are connected and can tell you how to get in touch with, you know, the influencers and how to get in touch with, you know, who do I talk to at Eater? And very often that's just not part of their business plan. It's like, well, like we need to reach like the 200 or 300 people in a like 5-block radius who are going to be our core, our base customers, right? And then after that, we can worry about like spreading out. But like, what we really, really need to do is serve this neighborhood first. And they don't care if I come in. I mean, they do. Like, when they find out that I've been in, then they care. But they're not like sitting there like, boy, I wonder when Pete Wells is going to walk in.
Did you ever worry about blowing up a spot that maybe didn't have the capacity to be blown up?
I mean, I'm sure I did. I'm sure there were like, you know, little places, and I would try to warn them, you know, like
you're crazy.
Like that, you know, I mean, a lot of people read this newspaper, but it's kind of a silly thing to worry about because like places.
I mean, everyone wants business.
Places get blown up all the time for all kinds of reasons, good and bad, and in between, and like places that have no business being, you know, completely crowded, get completely crowded, and then it blows over in a couple of weeks, and it's like. Like I'm sure there are places that I wrote about that changed. You always hope they change for the better. Sometimes success they change for worse a little bit. They kind of get a little.
It's hard.
You don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know which way they're going to roll with it. Like you hope that like you give a place a really good review. And the crowds come in, you hope they step into it, and they're like, okay, this is what we've been waiting for. We got a full house. Let's just like crush it, right? But not everybody is ready for that. Not everybody knows how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, something I think about Xi'an all the time, about that success story, like Bourdain going there and then it going from being in the basement of the mall in Flushing to now so many locations.
Right.
I don't know. They stepped up to the plate in a way that it's like very moving to me that I don't know, to see they deserve it, to see them have the success and be able to scale. And I don't know, it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, right. And it was definitely not a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
The little place serving lamb face in the basement of like really like one of the like, I want to use the word dirty. What's a word that I can use? Just kind of the one of the least glitzy food courts you could ever
No
imagine,
frills.
right? I mean, negative frills, right? So, like, the fact that, a bunch of people piled in there after Bourdain featured it, sure, of course. The fact that they could take it to another level of like, like serving all kinds of people who were never going to get out to the food court in Queens, that is the really unusual, amazing part of that story.
Do you remember what your first review was?
My first review as like the critic was a place that's not there anymore called Wong on Cornelia Street.
Wong.
Simpson Wong is the chef, and he was doing this kind of interesting. I think I called it like, Chinese fusion, sort of apologetically, because at the time, like, fusion was
No one
like,
wants to say that word. Yeah.
yeah. But it's one of those just sort of creative Chinese inspired cooking.
This was in 2012.
Yeah. I love that place, and that was the whole reason I chose it for the first review was because like nobody had reviewed it yet.
Yeah.
It was just kind of sitting there. And I walked in there, and I was like, "Oh, this place actually deserves some attention," and nobody had done it. And that was like my dream was like instead of like being the 20th person to weigh in on the hot restaurant of the fall, to be like the first person to say like, "Hey, over here, guys."
I mean, that's the cool thing about the power of the reach of something like the Times is that you can really like turn people onto something that they otherwise, I don't know, everyone's going to write about Borgo or whatever.
Right.
Everyone's going to know about Babbo.
Right. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, that was what was interesting to me about the just the reach of that platform and the size of the audience was that you could like turn the conversation toward something that wasn't in the conversation, and suddenly people were talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, someone like Jonathan Gold like kind of changed the way that everyone in America eats, basically, like, from his column,
Did that all the time. It was sort of like, these are the restaurants that matter here. These are the restaurants in this city that matter. These are the cuisines that make up the fabric of Los Angeles. It's not just like 200 Italian restaurants on the West Side, right? Yeah. It's like it's much deeper and richer than that. And I think he spent a lot of time and ate an unbelievable amount of food just finding the places that he could sing out, because that's a lot of work. Like if you just write about the place that everybody's already talking about, that's fine. You go in, you go twice, maybe 3 times, you're done.
Yeah.
If you're trying to write about a place that nobody's written about yet, that you're going to like a lot of restaurants and you're going to eat a lot of food, and a lot of it's going to be
bad,
or just completely like, okay, it's fine. This is not worth, like, I can't with a straight face say like, this is an important restaurant. This is an interesting restaurant. This is a different restaurant. Like, no, this is just another restaurant.
Yeah. Did you feel like that kind of like urge for exploration? Like, were you going to a million places and eating bad food?
Yeah, a fair amount. Yeah.
What do you do when you get served food that you don't like?
Well, I almost never had to walk out. I think there was like maybe a couple of places where like I would bring a bunch of people, who brought a bunch of people, and we would try the appetizers, and we were like, this isn't going to get better.
Yeah.
Let's just call it. And we would just, especially if we hadn't ordered the next round yet, we would just thank them, pay, go across the street. And then there were sometimes where like, that was the whole game plan. I'd be like, well, there's 5 restaurants here in a little 2-block radius, and we'll just go in and eat a couple things at the first one. And if they're good, maybe we'll get a couple more things. But if not, we move on to the second place. And that was like a separate way of dealing, because like you had to do some research to be able to do that, like to kind of have a little map in your head. And generally that would be like a little bit, that was like a night in Elmhurst or something where you're like a little bit farther away. Hard to do that in Manhattan. Like, oh, here's 5.
Yeah, it's like I'm eating 5 different gnocchis in a cup or whatever.
Right.
Did you ever try food that like felt that you'd never had before? Or like, what's something that you felt that you discovered when you were out and about? Like,
I don't even know if I can remember. There was just
many.
There was just so much. There were so many dishes that were totally new to me, and like, luckily, by the time I was doing it, you can find almost anything online. But like,
that's been so much harder before the internet.
Well, that's right. I mean, this is like, Jonathan and Golden and other, Mimi Sheridan had like hundreds and hundreds of cookbooks. Jonathan had like a massive cookbook collection, because if he was writing about the Albanian restaurant, he couldn't go online and say Albanian cuisine, famous dishes. He would have to like get down his 3 Albanian cookbooks and sort through them and figure out like which cookbook had what seemed like the most reliable version of the dish that he'd had at the restaurant. It was like, but still, whether you're doing it online or in a cookbook, still there's like research to be done. Like sometimes before you go to the restaurant, a lot of times afterwards, like, what did I just eat?
Yeah.
Was that like, do I consider that a classic version of the dish? Is that an interpretive version of the dish? Is it just a bad version of the dish? Like, what did I just see there?
That's something that I'm always feeling like is one of the hard parts, is like feeling you have a sense of authority, especially over something that is like a novel food to you, something that you don't have that much experience with, and then you have to like say if it's good or bad, and it's hard to even, or it's authentic, or it's hard to even know, or hard to say, or hard to know.
I know. I mean, really, a lot of times I was just limited to like what I'd eaten in New York City.
Yeah.
I have not been
to Albania.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know this from New York City. I've had like, wontons in 4 New York neighborhoods, and I can sort of tell you what the wonton universe is, But then, something like Xi'an Famous Foods comes along, and I just this at that time, that part of China was like kind of terra incognita in the city.
Yeah. I mean, also something.
That's why I love that name, like Xi'an Famous Foods, like famous in Xi'an. Maybe like not.
It's funny because I feel like now every city has a copy of it.
Yeah, I know. It's
like
amazing.
Chicago has like
amazing.
It's called Xi'an Foods. Like there's so many that are. It's a global phenomenon. Xi'an Famous Foods, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Xi'an Famous Foods. They called it.
It became that. Yeah.
Yeah. In the 12 years that you were the critic, like you saw the New York restaurant scene change so much. What are like some of the biggest ways that you feel like it's just like was different when you finished in 2024 as when you started?
And I mean, a few things happened. The sort of in that time, you could see social media like visibly changing restaurants, like changing just design, architecture, the lighting, the plating, how things were served, and then it got to a second level after that, where it was like influencing the menus. There were like Instagram dishes, or like things that were clearly like came out of the test kitchen with the idea that they would be a viral phenomenon. And that was not happening in like 2012. It's like, you might want to have a really popular dish.
Yeah.
But the idea that you were going to like create something that would be visually irresistible to TikTok or Instagram, that hadn't happened yet, Yeah. And so that's really changed. That's really changed things. And I think there's like, it's now like kind of possible to open a restaurant that has like one dish that everybody gets, and there's like other stuff on the menu, but nobody gets it. It's like the internet can just drive the menu to such an extent that there's just one idea.
Yeah, it's nice to have some people focus on one thing, and if they're doing a really good job, like you go to Japan or whatever, and they're like just making udon. Like
I love that. I love that kind of restaurant.
But then I guess it's different if it's like
all we do here.
Like a rainbow, like croissant or whatever.
One novelty item. Is the thing that they do.
Yeah.
It's just different from a traditional restaurant because, like, once you've had that thing, do you go back and get it again?
Yeah.
Do you like have another evening of your life devoted to like the?
I guess it's like almost not even a restaurant.
Or they just, I don't know what
They
they
sell
are
food.
exactly. Right.
Kind of like, I don't know. To me, do you think, I don't know. I'm always trying to think of what is a restaurant. Like,
Right. I mean, there's like this whole kind of category of restaurant where the whole idea is to kind of like get the spotlight, and then sometimes if they're really clever, they can like keep morphing, kind of keep changing, so that we're not doing that anymore. We've got a totally new thing that's going to be even more viral. But I mean, that's like a whole little hamster wheel that you're on, right? Whereas like the first restaurant that I reviewed that we were talking about, Long, that was like a chef's place where the idea was like he was going to go in and sort of give his take on the food that he'd grown up with, and it was sort of farmers market driven, like a lot of things that you just don't see that much anymore. But the idea was like it's going to be a place where the chef lived and kind of articulated his vision and his ideas like night after night after night, and it would unfold over time. And it did do that, it didn't last forever, but it did do that. But like, I think it's very hard right now if you're a chef, to kind of open up a place and say like, yeah, I'm just going to kind of cook what I feel like, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, it's also just so expensive.
Yeah, right.
So you need to have
the economic pressures are intense.
I guess I don't have very good perspective on it, but was it always like that? I don't know.
Well, New York's always been like,
it's always been
an
expensive
place to live for as long as I've like been living here. But like, I got here in the 80s, and at the time you could find a spot you could find a neighborhood in Manhattan that like was kind of overlooked.
Yeah.
And then the struggle was like, well, can we get people down to like
dimes.
North Little Italy, right? Or can we get people right to this weird end of Canal Street?
Yeah.
And I mean, that can maybe still happen, but it's not. It's just not what it was. And now you see that kind of like prospecting and looking for new frontiers just happening outside of Manhattan. But that's it's different because like. So all the subways converge on Manhattan except the G train. Everything comes to Manhattan. So if you find a spot in Manhattan that works, you can get people from all over the city.
Yeah.
If you find, a spot in Bed-Stuy that works, you've got the C train and the G train, and that's it, right?
Yeah. Do you feel like, do you have any like hope for social media in the food landscape? Like, do you think that it's done any kind of good? Would you erase it if you could? Do you think it's done any good for like restaurants?
That's such an interesting question. I haven't really thought about it that way. I mean, I'd be curious. I mean, one thing that I think is unquestionably good is that restaurants can put themselves out there now.
By themselves, without needing you.
They don't need the New York Times.
Yeah.
They don't need anybody. They can just, anybody who has a phone can get their message out there. It's like, like, I don't think anybody ever did this about a review of mine, but before I was the critic, there were reviews where the restaurateur, the owner, got so mad that they would take out a full page ad in the New York Times, so for whatever that
must
cost.
Have been cheaper.
Whatever that cost at the time. And but that was how they had to get their message out, because they could not go online and rant. They didn't have these options that places have now, which I think is great. I think it's actually really healthy. If you get a bad review and you want to rant about it, then let's not say rant, it's a loaded word, but you want a considered response to this bad review, and you want to do that in the form of a video, where you talk to the camera, or you write a long caption on Instagram, or like whatever you want to do. You can do that. It's free to you, and like you should be able to get the word out. It's like that was the problem with sort of the monopoly. Well, not monopoly is not the right word, but the problem with there being so few outlets for for getting the word out was like it was very one-sided.
Yeah.
And so it's great. It's great that it's now like kind of a free-for-all. Like it's like
And for food journalists as well. Like,
and for food journalists too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure
everyone can be a
I'm
food
sure-
journalist.
I'm not sure that they've right. I mean, certainly it certainly has like brought a lot more people into the game. You know?
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like there are more critics than ever now, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
Not just at the
although
Times.
It's really hard to say. Well, definitely more critics at the Times. More critics at the Times than once you leave the Times, it's kind of hard to say like who's a critic and who's not. Like
maybe not everyone would identify as a critic, but I think that there's lots of people that are on TikTok. I don't even open that door really, but there's so many people that are doing reviews of Lilia like every single day.
right.
I think they would. I don't know if they call themselves a critic, but they're doing something. I don't know what it means.
I think it's entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even mean that in a
Yeah, no,
disparaging
entertainment's important.
way. Right,
Yeah.
right. But I think you're kind of looking at it from the wrong angle if you think like, oh, that's not, they obviously like, was the restaurant knew that they were there and they haven't said anything negative. So, did they say if they were comped or not? Like all of that is kind of beside the point. Like it's just content that is meant to entertain and to keep you kind of like paying attention for the 30 seconds or 2 minutes that it lasts, and that's its whole.
And it's also
function.
like a lot of, I guess this is more of a recent thing too, is that a lot of the people that are watching these videos, or not, a lot of the people that are reading the Times now, they're not in New York. They're never going to go to the restaurant. They are reading it for entertainment. It is like they want to watch Sex and the City, you know. They want to like read about the like cool room that's in New York City that's you're drinking martinis in, and which is something.
Right. No, I understand. There's like an armchair travel element.
It's
right?
nice. I don't know. I feel like that's how I experienced the world, like in Chicago as a kid, or like, I don't know. That's a lot of people get to experience things that they wouldn't otherwise get to. I don't know. It's just like Bourdain and, I don't know, reading about travel things. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool sometimes.
Yeah, I mean the power of the image is it's like easy to overlook because like sometimes these honestly like the words that are being spoken are vapid and at best.
Yeah.
But the image, like, oh, we're in this cool bar on the second floor that you have to like kind of know where the door is, and now I'm inside. It's cool, you know, and that is something that's like, I think even the best writer can't really reproduce like the feeling that you can get from like a quick 10-second clip of like being in some really, really special place. You know, we have words, we have our words, right? But like,
our words,
you know,
yeah.
But at best, we're just sort of like trying to come up with some kind of approximation of the feeling. You know, we're not going to bring you inside there the way a camera can.
Yeah. I mean, I guess related to this is I've been trying to remember, just from my memory of living in New York, if restaurants were always so designed, like, and now I go to a place like Bridges or something, and I'm like, this is beautiful. I don't know, like, there's restaurants look better now, or they look more like they're supposed to look a certain way or something. Wouldn't you?
It's interesting. Well, I think it kind of goes back to what we were saying about the influence of social media, because every place now that has a budget is, and even
they have a PR team.
They're thinking like,
graphic designer,
how is this going
designer.
to look? How's this going to look when somebody comes in with their camera? Like, you know, this.
That's why it's way more expensive to open a restaurant now. Everyone needs,
although, you know,
you don't need it.
At the cheap end, you just get sort of fake neon in pink on the wall that says like, you know,
ciao,
make everyday matcha day, you know, like it's you know, it's croissant o'clock somewhere, you know. And I don't know how much that costs, but like so many places have it. It can't be that much money, right? There's like a lot of ways to make something that's kind of good enough to go on camera, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. And then there are places that spend a ton of money. I think like a place like Bridges, I'm not even sure that really social media is like a major.
It's dark in there. It's hard to take
It's
videos
dark,
in there.
right? It's dark, and sort of the space kind of snakes around, and like it's not.
It's for writing about.
They're trying to create like just an atmosphere and a feeling,
Yeah.
so that you go in there and you feel good and you feel like you were really smart to bring your date there, and like all of that stuff that hasn't gone away. That sort of has fueled, the restaurant business for decades and decades. That's sort of like just creating a mood that people want to live in for 2 hours.
What was your favorite mood that you wanted to live in New York? Maybe a place that closed.
Well, I always think about Florent in the meatpacking district, but it wasn't a sort of an atmospheric thing like we're talking about. It was like a whole society. It was a whole culture in there. It was like this sort of like meatpacking before the frontier was closed, and when it could still feel really bohemian, and there was like just like a mix of people, but it was like of like very clearly like a gay restaurant, it was, and you entered into that, and that was just part of the experience that you were going to have, but that wasn't the only thing that was going on. It just had its own society in a way that I think is hard for restaurants now to do. It was partly because of the geographic isolation and of course, the era, the time, and the culture. I can't think of anything that's similar to that now.
A funny question that I was thinking about when I was reading. You wrote a piece about matcha. Do you think that people like matcha? Do you think people actually like matcha?
That's really funny.
Because it's so tied into like trends, like performative male, or like it's it's green, it's beautiful. You have the big thing that says matcha.
It's psychoactive.
Yeah.
So it does like kind of wake you up, and I do believe that it's a quality of buzz that like lends itself to concentration and actually getting some work done, which is hard on your fifth espresso to actually focus. But I do think people like it. I mean, it's kind of this wonderful, the good stuff has this wonderful freshness to it, where you're drinking the leaf, like because it's been powdered, the leaf has been ground into powder. You were like drinking the plant, you know. So it's vibrant in a way that like something that's steeped is a sort of is one step removed from actually like eating the plant. That said, there's a lot of bad matcha. There's a lot of matcha that wasn't meant to be maybe drunk straight up, that is being drunk straight up, and then there's a lot of matcha that's being mixed with caramel syrup and agave and
I was going to say I see everyone drinking it with like ube or
right.
Like
so
like,
by the time you've poured in like whatever sweetener you need to make it palatable, like whether you like it is sort of irrelevant. It's not the question anymore. Like you've turned it into something different.
I guess that's what I've been trying to figure out, if people actually like to eat the food that they're taking photos of.
I mean, in some ways, it's like it is like espresso, where like 99 espressos out of 100 are going to be sour, bitter, gritty. And then you get the 100th espresso, and it's just like the skies open up and the angels come out. It's like
I like matcha.
Everything. This is everything at once, and matcha can do that too. There's like, you get really carefully made from really high quality tea, and you're like, oh, this is just beautiful. And then there's like so much stuff that is just like, kind of delivered by a tanker truck.
So now that food like isn't dominating your whole life and existence, what do you do with your time?
I'm a little confused about it, actually. I mean, I'm trying to write. I try to stay home at night, which is nice for a change, because I went out like every night for 12 years.
That's crazy.
Like try to like stay home or try to read books and try to sort of. I think there's a level in which I'm still in recovery. You know,
Yeah.
I'm still kind of like just
Hard to turn off.
allowing my like brain and body to kind of like seek whatever its normal level is, you know. But I'm actually surprised by how long I've been going just like in this recovery mode where I'm like, yeah, so it's good to stay home for the 12th night in a
You get
row. It's
antsy?
good, not too much, not too much really. But there's are like bigger changes too. Like I don't drink nearly as much as I used to.
Yeah.
So like when you don't drink as much, it's a little harder to figure out what you're going to do if you actually leave the house.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
At nighttime, what do you do?
it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'd like to go out, but what am I?
Go to a matcha bar or something.
Yeah, right.
Stay up all night. So at the end of the podcast, we do a thing where we do shout outs. So I'll do one shout out and then you do one, and then I'll do one and then you do one. Just stuff like it could be anything that we like. So I'm going to go first. And my first shout out this week is this place called 80s. Have you been there?
No.
It's like a perfume store. It used to be in the West Village, and now it's in the Lower East Side, like Times Square-ish. I think it's on Orchard Street. It's like a really small perfume store, but they have like 1 million independent perfumes in this little store, and it's such a nice place to buy a gift. Like last year, I bought my wife a perfume, and I knew what I wanted. I knew the base notes that she likes, and I picked something based on that. But this year, I went and I got one for one of my best friends, and I kind of just described her to the guy working at the store, and then he gave me like 3 cents, and he was like, "Okay, this is the one where this is the party girl one. This is the one where she wants to be more of like an elegant, like grown-up type of person. And this is like the like spooky one." And I was like, "Oh, the elegant one." It was perfect. He nailed it. And then I got it for her, and she was like, "This is perfect." And it's the best kind of gift to get someone. And getting it sent for someone is also a very
that's
fun
so incredible, right? Because that's a conversation that like I'm usually having that conversation about wine. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like Chardonnay, but I don't really like Riesling. That's the other thing. But,
thing. Do you like Chardonnay and you don't like Riesling?
No, that's actually reversed. It's
I would have taken you for a Riesling
No.
guy.
completely reversed. I like Riesling and Chardonnay. I could take it or leave it. But you know, that I'm always impressed by the very, very rare people, like I think genetic freaks, who are able to like not just understand and appreciate and identify all of the flavors in a wine and all the aromas in a perfume, but then can translate it to the rest of us idiots.
Yeah.
Like that's an incredible skill to me. Like to understand what's going on in this bottle, and then to like put it in terms that a complete moron
so
can
abstract.
understand.
It's like
It's amazing.
and it's like so full of like all the like Proustian like Ratatouille moments where it's like this little bass note or this top note, this is supposed to like relate to this memory or this reference, and it's really like a cerebral. My sister writes really good perfume reviews just for fun,
Oh,
but they're
really? Oh,
amazing.
really?
I'm pretty impressed with her.
It's so
perfume reviews.
interesting because perfume is just so pure.
Yeah,
It's just so pure. It's like created to do this one thing.
You'd be great at it.
You know.
do you wear
like,
perfume?
No. I have a bottle of a cologne that I think I got it from the giveaway shelf when I worked at a men's magazine, and I think I wore it once. But I look at it every day.
Okay, it's your turn.
Oh yeah. So let's see. I want to just thank my son, who I've got two, but one of them on Christmas went out and like solved. I think he solved. I haven't tested it yet, so we've yet to see. But I think he solved one of the major problems I have in the kitchen, which is like, how do I store the herbs, right? Because like, you know, like I'm always buying herbs.
Yeah.
And like I've gone through everything. I like wrap them in paper towel, put them in the crisper drawer. I put them in a coffee cup full of water on the refrigerator shelf. I put them in a coffee cup full of water on the counter. I like mist them. I like just throw them into a plastic bag with no paper, and like I've done everything I can think of. And like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes what worked last week doesn't work this week, and I end up with like, I'm ready to cook, and I'm like, what happened to my cilantro? Who sat on my cilantro? This is not acceptable, right? So he got me this sort of herb storage bin with like water down to the bottom, and I have to test it. I mean, I may have to take this all back if it doesn't work. But I was like so impressed that he had
That's such a thoughtful gift.
insight that I'm being driven crazy by herbs every single day, and like just trying to solve that problem for me.
That's such a nice gift. Maybe I'll buy that. I always think that herbs should just be served sold in smaller quantities.
Well, ideally, right? You either live across the street from a place that has them, or you have a window box or a garden, and you live in a climate where it doesn't freeze in the winter, and but in the real world where it's the key food on the corner,
I mean, the Indian market, like a live herbal market. Shout out a live herbal market. It's the best store.
It's my favorite store in the city.
I just moved from right there, and it was right on my corner. Every time I'd want anything I'm like turmeric, fresh turmeric, or like bird's eye chilies. Just go to my corner. It's so nice.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like lime leaves and like curry leaves.
The curry leaves are cool. I never cooked with curry leaves till I got it from there.
Amazing ingredient.
Yeah, so fun. I never used them before.
Yeah. And then like in like the spring, the quality of the mangoes at the price that they sell them for is incredible.
Yeah. And they're so nice in there.
Yeah, they're great.
So my next shout out, this is kind of lame, but just buses, because I just moved to the city from a live herbal market to now the East Village, and I've been taking buses. And there's like a bus that goes right from my house to, I guess, Times Square. It was very convenient yesterday to go to Chinatown about some groceries, like 10 minutes. They're so fast that you can charge your phone. I don't know. I was so scared to live far east, and I used to live right by the A train. It was convenient. And I was like, oh, how am I going to get around? I'm going to have to ride a bike. I'm scared of riding a bike. And then I'm just taking the bus everywhere. It's so fun. And you get to look out the window. I don't know. That's
a great thing that you can't do on the subway.
Your turn.
Oh, well, I am just going to give a little praise to Macy's on Herald Square, where I went to buy a Christmas present, and I thought like, oh, this is going to be a nightmare, right? Because I always wait till the last minute, and it's going to be full of people. I'm not going to be able to move, but of course, like Macy's Herald Square is enormous, so you could put like the entire state of Connecticut in there and lose them, So like it was not a nightmare at all. You get to ride these elevators that just go up and up because what I wanted was like on the 6th or 7th or the 8th floor. You just ride these elevators endlessly up, higher and higher. And then, you can come to, depending on where you're shopping, you can come to a department where like there's no one there except for the nice clerks who want to help you. Can I help you? What are you looking for? Would you want to try that on? And then successfully completed my mission, got the present that I wanted, and then turned around and I was like, there was a little cafe, and I was like, oh, I can get coffee now.
Wow.
What an amazing invention this is!
That's so nice. I never think about going there.
No, you wouldn't think about it unless you were right near it.
Yeah.
But and definitely, I've been in there when it's crazy, and you have to go through the first floor with all the sort of the opposite of the perfume situation you were describing.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible down there. Yeah, that's why I don't go into department stores, because you have to walk through like the worst smelling place in the world.
Every fragrance ever invented just clashing and colliding in the middle of the room.
Yeah, it's like a nauseating. That's such a good one. One last thing is, what are you cooking this week?
Oh, I haven't really figured it out yet. I've still got my ham, so I've got many ham-based meals can still come out of that. I haven't made a quiche yet. I haven't made a soup yet. I have, like, there's a lot of ham in my future. But then after that, I don't know, usually like around New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, I got the urge to like eat a bunch of smoked fish.
Oh, yeah.
You know, either sometimes on waffles.
On a
or just,
waffle?
like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Or you've like a thing that is fun is like make a buckwheat waffle, right? So like a little bit of buckwheat flour in there, and like butter, creme fraiche, or whatever, and then like pile it up with your smoked salmon.
Yum.
That is a meal I really enjoy around this time of year.
Nice.
But one way or another, I'll make some kind of waffle.
Not January 1st, but January 2nd, I will do that. Thanks, Pete. This was so much fun.
Oh yeah, I had a great time too.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Expense Account is a production of Feed Me in partnership with Public Sound and Substack. Our executive producers are Emily Sundberg, Jason Gauntlet, and Ryan Woodhall. Our associate producer is Cami Fateh. Our audio engineer is Luke Moldoff. Our video editor is Izzy Cross, and our graphic designer is Justin Sloan. Expense Account is recorded at WSA NYC. For more episodes, visit us at feedme.substack.com. See you next week.